Хора, загубих се, не знам как да стигна до чарджера. Чакайте, ще питаме този човек, тук е спрял с някакъв джип. Hello, excuse me, sir. Bjorn!
Yeah.
Oh my God!
What's up?
Where can I find the charger for Tesla?
Oh, okay. You can just drive. You have a Model S.
Yeah.
If you drive just 5 minutes up the hill here, then there will be supercharger. Plenty of stalls.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so very nice to have Bjorn, the real Bjorn, the one and only. In my video today, I'm going to do a roadcast without actually driving because he has just 30 minutes, right?
Yeah, roughly. Yeah.
So, first of all, I want to say, huge fan of your work. You're doing great things for the community that nobody else does, and yeah, you're making an influence really in a positive way. So yeah, thank you for agreeing to meet with me. Because I'm also a content creator, and I want to ask you a couple of questions to help out maybe other creators or people that are thinking about switching to electric. So when you first started documenting EVs, the world definitely wasn't where it is now. What did you see back then in electric vehicles, and were there many naysayers in the beginning?
Oh yeah, plenty. And especially back then when I had Model S P85, it was rear-wheel drive. Many Norwegians, naturally, they were skeptic about rear-wheel drive in the winter. It's like 400 horsepower rear-wheel drive is going to end up in a ditch. Yeah, because they were based on all fossil design. And also many people like, it's not going to be enough range, or you run out of juice in winter and stuff. And I proved them wrong. I've drove all over Norway, no problem. Yeah.
There were people that were skeptical as well, right?
Yeah. Like lots of people, mainly because they didn't know how electric cars work, or they were basing their claims on, let's say, an old Leaf or IMEV. Of course, they are nowhere near as good as the Teslas are, right? So, of course, then they were like, okay, lots of problems maybe, or in winter the range will be half of what it is in summer. Okay, that might apply for those Leafs or Souls, but for a Tesla you might get 20% reduction only, and also it charges way faster with supercharger and so on. So.
Exactly, that's what I was doing a short today, which is like people are like, oh, this car charges so fast, so slow. And I was like, okay, tell me one car that charged better in 10 years ago. Like, tell me one. There isn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you've tested hundreds of cars and, built a very trusted voice around the community and the newcomers to it. What has been the hardest moment in your journey that people watching your videos haven't seen?
Ooh, hardest moment in the journey? Hard to tell. I think actually, well, in a way, maybe it was when I got a family. Yes, because with small kids, they need lots of attention. Still now, they are 2 and 4 years old. And do you have any kids?
Yes, one daughter, 6.
Okay,
I can relate to that very well.
And it's like you have one daughter, but then if you have 2 kids,
oh my God, yeah.
It's not double trouble. It's squared. It's 4 times more hassle. So in a way, it was a lot of hassle in the beginning when they were really babies, and I couldn't even get enough sleep at night. I had to wake up and take care of the kids, or at least the youngest one, right? And then this actually made like a toll on how I can do tests, or like I can't just go on long trips to the Arctic Circle or North Cape anymore. And also when I'm invited over to press drives, like it involves flying to Spain or Portugal or Germany, I have to decline many offers because it kind of holds me back with small kids at home. But I mean, eventually they'll grow bigger and then they'll be more independent. But this is the kind of stuff that people don't see.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's absolutely right. I'm certain that you've seen basically the full spectrum of bad EVs, great EVs. Was there some moment or a car that really stood out for you, like something really incredible in the EV space?
Well, we have some old cars like the Ford Focus electric. It was just poor design, put the battery in the trunk, so there was no trunk space. And maybe the Mercedes B250 electric, also extremely thirsty. But there's one car, those are old cars, so they are kind of excused.
Yeah.
But there's a modern car that is really bad. I don't want to talk too much bad about the cars, but the Citroën EC3, especially the Aircross, where do I start? It was really thirsty, but the user experience was like so bad. The infotainment for a modern car in 2025, there was almost nothing there in terms of settings or when you have navigation. I don't even remember it had navigation. I think it had navigation, but the infotainment and the software was so bad and so basic. But not only that, but it also left me stranded.
Oh, really?
At one of the superchargers. I plugged in and then it failed handshake, but then the car didn't unlock the charge port, and I was really struggling. And eventually I got it to unlock. I don't know what happened. And then when it went to the next charger, it was charging and then it stopped charging. It was like, it was so bad. Yeah, that car, that I don't know why people even buy them in Norway, but they do.
Nice. That's interesting story. What about Chinese cars? Like generally, how do you feel about this? Is a huge wave now in Europe, even in Eastern Europe. We are hit with that wave of like these are the best cars ever for the money and whatnot.
Well, I'm probably the one in the world that has tested most Chinese cars. Probably 25, maybe more different Chinese brands, and you have the whole spectrum from some of the best like NIO. They are really good in software and also hardware driving feel, interior. Also the Seeker 7X is super impressive, and also some of the Xpeng, the newer Xpeng, X9. It was like super impressive when you drive it. Like, wow, am I driving a Mercedes EQS SUV, or is it Xpeng that cost 1/3? But there is like the on the high end of the spectrum. But the first Xpeng I tested, the G3, was horrible. It was charging slow. It didn't have a good ride. It was bad experience. And also some of the other Chinese cars I tested. There was one, the Jack E30X, also a small, affordable EV, quite modern, but also full of bugs, glitches, bad design on software, and other cases where, for example, in the actually a quite modern MG S5 and so on, and the similar cars. When you press the button on the steering wheel to cycle between trip meter, it takes a second for it to change. I'm like, why? In a modern EV, it doesn't have a 286 CPU or something. So it has a whole spectrum.
I've tested like 4 or 5 brands in Sofia. The majority of them just don't handle good. Like at least it's not like a proper car that you expect. If you turn, it turns, right? There is like sometimes a bad handling experience. But other than that, most of them are they're banking on good interior, like proper quality leather and whatnot. I wanted to ask about the banana box test because it has been iconic in the space. And I'm like, why, of all things that you could have tested volume, why did you select banana boxes?
Very good question. Because actually in the early days, I consider toilet paper. It could have been a toilet paper test.
That would have been, in the times of COVID, would have been very...
Yeah, but I wanted to find some kind of... Well, the whole idea about it was that I got the impression that some cars claim lots of big volume trunk space. It was actually the I-Pace. But then when I look at the trunk, I was like, huh? That does not look that big. So then I wanted to verify it, just to test it myself. And then the problem with toilet paper is that you can kind of crush it. And then so it doesn't become consistent. But it's good in the way that you have small units. But then I ended up with banana boxes because they are more rigid. And this is more like reflect a real world case that you might have some suitcases or other larger items that you cannot simply just divide. So then it ended up being the banana box test, and it works great. It's been like a icon test.
It has been, yeah. You spent, and you obviously talked about it earlier, but you've spent a huge part of your life on the road, and this has definitely taken a toll, most likely, to your time with your family. But what has it given you back in return?
Oh, well, I mean, in a way, many people, they might have a hobby. Maybe they like golfing or fishing or whatever, but my hobby is driving. So my passion is already driving. So, which means that when I'm doing work, I'm already having my quality time.
Nice.
Yeah, so I don't have to spend extra time going fishing, for example. So
I can relate to that because I'm driving, like, I'm now currently at 4.7 thousand kilometers on this trip, and I'm not even going back yet. So I love driving as well. So yeah, that makes perfect sense for me. Okay, the EV space is evolving very, very fast, insanely fast now. What do you believe that most people are not getting at the moment about EVs? Still not getting.
Yeah, I think even today, it's like many people are obsessed about the charging speed, like how long the fast charging takes, but they just don't get that you can just slow charge at home, dirt cheap. You only need 5 seconds to plug in, and that's it. And you don't. The car is charging very cheap while you're sleeping or doing something else. And what they don't understand is that the car is sitting still many hours when you are just around home. But even when you're on a road trip, many people don't realize that a fossil car, what you do is that you refuel within 2 to 5 minutes. Okay, great. But then what do? You move the car, and then you park it somewhere, and then you have lunch or dinner, and then the car is sitting there still doing nothing for 1 hour. It couldn't be charging. So the whole, even today, even in 2026, I get the impression that many people are still obsessed about that. They want 1,000 kilometer range, and they want 5-minute refilling time. You don't need that.
In real life.
We already reached nirvana 5 years ago when Tesla started rolling out Model 3. You already had good enough range and charging speeds. It's all about efficiency also.
Yeah, efficiency is super important for me. You know, I would enjoy having a faster charge speed, but at the same time, I'm always taking into account that I'm still stopping. Like, you should still stop at some point in the journey, even 4.7 thousand kilometers away from Sofia. I have to say, like, personally, every time I feel lazy about making a video, you know how many hours this involves, every video that you put out. I'm going to ask, like, what motivates you to be so consistent? Man, every time I'm lazy, I'm thinking, Bjorn does this in 2 languages, man. He does the same content in 2 languages. I've heard mishaps sometimes in Thai for your content. And I'm like, this guy, how can he be so consistent? Like, always be consistent, you're probably going to say.
Yeah.
But how do you motivate yourself? And this is going to serve all the new content creators like myself. How do you get motivated to do that?
Well, that is a very good question. I think it's because I'm not burnt out yet, and also because driving is my passion. And also, I forgot to mention that also, before I started the whole YouTube channel, I also love photography, and later also video. So I already love the way I work, you know. So at least for me, I don't get bored of it. And also, at some extent, okay, some of the editing might be a bit boring sometimes, but also that's why I don't try to make it too overcomplicated, the editing part. But you know, I've seen people who maybe want to start a channel, but then they just couldn't make it like my wife. She tried it, right? But first of all, she was a bit embarrassed out in public shooting video. Sometimes I also feel like that, but I just have to, okay, whatever. Don't mind them, you know. It's a job. Yeah. It's like if there's a TV crew, you know, they don't care, right, about surroundings. But also, you just have to enjoy what you're doing. And then for some people, it doesn't work for them. Like my wife, she got bored of the editing. Yeah, for me, I'm like sometimes I'm also bored, but I just have to do it. It's like a reward because, okay, sometimes the editing can be a bit boring, but then I know that once I finish that editing, I can then do something fun, like go out and drive.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, you're a role model for every content creator because you're doing it twice every video.
But I actually don't do it in both languages anymore.
Ah, you don't? Okay.
Yeah, it's not worth it. For some cars that doesn't come to Thailand, then it's irrelevant. It gets really low view count.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I generally considered doing the whole channel in English, but when I started 3 years ago, but I decided that I want to keep it to a smaller population, but consistent with Bulgarian market and what we do. And it was really pleasure talking to you, man, and meeting you in person. And I have something. Just a second. This is a Bulgarian rakia. It's a grape brandy. It's a really nice drink from Bulgaria.
Wow!
So you can try it and.
It's 40%.
No, it's a strong one. Yeah.
Is it?
You usually take this with a salad.
Okay.
Or some meat like sausage or something like that.
Okay. Thank you.
But yeah, this is from Bulgaria. Traveling. No, I'm joking. It's actually from Munich. There is a Bulgarian store in Munich because I forgot.
Yeah, but that's good.
But it's still Bulgarian rakia.
Okay, cool.
Thank you very much again.
Thank you.
All the best and thanks for your time. Надявам се това интервю да ви е било толкова приятно, колкото и на мен, докато го правих. Благодаря на Бьорн, който е уникален пич и е страхотен човек. Много готин и на живо, не само във видеята. И ако искате да видите интервю с някой друг в тази сфера, въпреки че не знам кой след Бьорн може да го топне, както се казва, пишете в коментарите и не забравяйте да се абонирате. Чао!